The internet has tricked many people into believing that Disney's Esmeralda and Phoebus have an insane age gap, but this is actually a great example of misunderstanding how adaptations work.
What a woman.
Basically, what people are doing is taking Esmeralda's age from the original novel and ignoring all of the changes that Disney made to her character, but then not doing that for Phoebus, who's described in the novel as jeune homme, or young man, meaning in his 20s or even late teens. He's still supposed to be older than her and taking advantage of her being a naive 16-year-old with a crush. Saying that he's in his mid-40s is insane and shows that people doing this don't know what they're talking about. Even in the Disney version, where they're all clearly a bit older, his age is still ambiguous. When he first arrives in Paris, he mentions being back after a couple decades, implying he's probably in his 30s, assuming that he enlisted in the military at the typical age of a teenager. In Disney's stage adaptation, his casting is between 25 and 40, while Esmeralda's is between 20 and 30. Which doesn't necessarily mean that's how we should view their ages in the Disney film, but it is in line with how they are clearly aged up from the novel. Either way, the idea that he's in his 40s is a bit of a stretch, but he's clearly not a young man, meaning he is not the same character as he was in the novel. And that goes even more so for Esmeralda. In the novel, her age is a very important part of her character and the point that the story is trying to tell. She's a naive, innocent girl who's forced into adult situations that she's not ready for. And in the end, she's killed because the world is a cruel, unfair place, and because she has this big teenage crush and doesn't realize that he's just trying to sleep with her. Meanwhile, Disney not only made Esmeralda visually older, but they also made her wiser and more worldly. She's not just a victim of the injustices of the world, she's actively fighting against that injustice. And she doesn't have this naive schoolgirl crush on Phoebus. She's initially attracted to him, but she knows to be cautious of his intentions and not blindly trust him. She only develops real feelings and trust for him after he risks his life to save an innocent Roma family.
You're either the single bravest soldier I've ever seen, or the craziest.
Like many Disney characters, her age is purposely left ambiguous as a young woman, but it's very clear and obvious that she's meant to be older than her book counterpart, and even the other Disney heroines that are explicitly stated to be 16. And on top of this, it's not even just her and Phoebus that are aged up. Frollo is considerably older than the 36-year-old that he was in the novel. Disney still wanted him to come across as a creepy older man lusting after her, and obviously his behavior would still be creepy either way, but the old man part of it would not come across if he looked 36, because there is nothing in this film that even hints at her being 16. That should be easy to understand if you didn't read this character as 36 just because he is in the novel. It's just incredibly inconsistent how people treat Disney characters and their source material. These crazy age gaps that people make up for Disney couples almost always require you to look at the film in an unnatural and illogical way. Especially when it comes to Hunchback of Notre Dame, I've seen countless people be unable to accept that Disney made changes to the narrative, and I see so many comments like this where they combine a fact from the Disney adaptation with a fact from the novel as if they exist in the same story. And that's just not how adaptations work, especially when there are so many clear differences between these two versions of the story like there is here.